Hello and welcome to another episode of the Classical Republican. Today we are talking again about Ukraine, and we're going to go into the assassination and the group behind the assassination on Darya Dugin, and we'll see. So let me give you some background. So this can be a standalone video. We got Alexander Dugin, and he's a Russian political philosopher. Came out with the fourth political theory, and you can see my video on that. And he's had a lot of influence. He's provided a lot of justification for the war in Ukraine, and so a lot of people see his thoughts as guiding Putin in the invasion of Ukraine. So yesterday, well, I guess this is Tuesday. I get and it's not happening on the other side of the world. So it was like 2 or 3 days ago. We had an attack. Car bomb went off, and it killed Alexander Dugin's daughter Daria, and it is believed that this attack was meant for Alexander Dugin. So there was some blame put on Ukraine. Ukraine denied it, and then last night this group came out, which is the NRA, the National Republican Army. Okay, and they seem to be they do have some Republican tendencies, we'll say. When I'm talking about the type of republicanism, this is probably they seem very similar to like the Irish Republican Army. There was also a National Republican Army that came out after the fall of Mussolini in Italy, and they fought against the remnants of the fascists. So today, this morning I found this on YouTube, and it's a manifesto. It's from For the Record channel. It's number 4, the record, all one, no spaces. And what happened? So they put out this proclamation that came from the NRA, or this manifesto, and so we're going to go through that and talk about the Republican, classical Republican aspects of this group. It says, "We are Russian activists, military personnel, and politicians, currently also the fighters of the National Republican Army. And we are outlawing the warmongers, thieves, and oppressors of the peoples of Russia. We declare President Putin to be an usurper of power and a war criminal who has violated the Constitution." Okay, I saw another translation of this earlier, and it didn't use violation. It used amendment. So it's showing that there is a change. A change that they don't like in the Constitution by Putin. Let me see, I lost my place. Let me get back. Let's go a little bit further. Okay. Outlawing the oppressors of the peoples of Russia. We declare President Putin to be the usurper of power and a war criminal who has violated the Constitution. We unleashed a fratricidal war between Slavic peoples and sent Russian soldiers to certain and senseless death. Okay, so this is interesting. So it's fratricidal. So there's still the idea, and this comes from Dugin, and Putin has also carried on with this argument that the relationship between Russia and other Slavic peoples, it goes beyond the nation state, and so that they have to, Russia has to absorb all the Slavic people so that they can be together and be happy together. And but this group, the NRA, seems to recognize the nation state as a legitimate body. And therefore Ukraine is a legitimate country, as opposed to what Putin argued, that Ukraine is not a real country. Poverty and coffins for some, palaces for others, the essence of his policy. We believe that disenfranchised people have the right to rebel against tyrants. Putin will be deposed and destroyed by us. Our goal is to stop the destruction of Russia and its neighbors, to stop the activities of a handful of Kremlin businessmen who have sucked the wealth of our people and are committing crimes today inside and outside the country. We declare officials of the government of the Russian Federation and the regional administrators to be accomplices of the usurper. Those who do not resign their powers will be destroyed by us. Okay, so there are a number of issues here. So they see Putin as a tyrant and an illegitimate monarch. If you go back to Aristotle's ideas of the different regimes, you have ruled by the one, ruled by the few, ruled by the many, and then you have those three that are good and those three that are bad. And so you have like a good monarch that is not Putin. They obviously think that Putin is the bad kind, and so they're going to get rid of him. And then there's the rule by the few, and they're talking about the Russian oligarchs, these businessmen who have been sucking off the wealth of the people. And the state apparatus, the bureaucracy is is there for at the disposal of Putin and the oligarchs. So that's what this is referring to. We declare businessmen who earn their money on corruption and connections with officials traitors to the motherland and accomplices of the usurper, the property of those who do not repent and do not speak publicly against this government and its war, and they themselves will be destroyed by us. We declare employees of power structures as accomplices of the usurper. Those who do not lay down their arms and take off their shoulder straps will be destroyed by us. We declare military cargoes and the cargoes of those who earn money in the war and help it financially legal targets that we will destroy. We remember the bombings of houses in Russia that brought Putin to power. We know that the regime will not stop at any of the most heinous crimes. And we declare, we carry out our actions only against persons of this power. We will not attack civilian objects and civilians. And if Putin's security forces will make such provocations and attribute the victims to us, do not believe them. We call on the soldiers of the Russian army to stop shooting at our brothers from other countries, Georgia, Syria, Ukraine, and others. Okay, that's interesting that they included Syria there. So it's definitely not the old. These people aren't any type of Russian nationalists, from what I can understand from this, because they're including these other countries which are not Slavic. Georgia's not a Slavic nation. Syria's not a Slavic nation, so that's interesting. Like to it'd be nice if they'd clarify what how they see those people, and why they see them as brothers. So that's very interesting. We call on Russians to join our ranks and to raise the white flag of the new Russia instead of the tricolor disgraced by Putin's government. So white flag. Interesting. We call on those who are ready to fight to follow our example and overthrow this inhuman, hypocritical, and anti-people regime. Okay, so he's saying anti-people. So going back to Aristotle's theory of government, you have three forms, ruled by the one, few, and many. And so this is a reference to the many. So in a good mixed regime, which is the essence of republicanism, or part of the essence of republicanism, the mixed regime, you have to have represented institutions of the one, the few, and the many, and so they have to work together for the common good. And they're saying that they have completely closed out the institutions of the many. So that's why they say anti people. We consider it unacceptable that Russians have begun to be defamed all over the world because of war crimes committed by those who have neither nationality nor fatherland and who love only money and power. So sounds like the nomadic capitalists. The world is not an enemy of Russia, and Russia is not an enemy of humanity. Let's see. We will give protection to all who follow our call. All who carry out our program up to the change of regime are exempted from liability under the laws of the usurper. After our victory, we will immediately release all those illegally convicted by the Putin authorities. We will give freedom to all the peoples inhabiting Russia and build a new society. A society without oligarchs, without corruption, without arbitrariness of officials, without humiliating poverty. So they're anti-arbitrary, very Republican. A society in which everyone is rewarded according to their work. Society without wars and violence. A society in which power will belong to the people, where citizens will choose their own leaders and organize the life of their cities and villages themselves. Okay, so self-determination. A society in which the rulers will not be able to sacrifice human lives for their own greatness, but will think about education, medicine, and scientific progress. A society in which everyone will be proud that he was born on the territory of Russia and will want to live in it. Long live free Russia. Okay, so towards the end there, it sounds a lot like influences of the nationalism of Mazzini. What, for lack of a better term, a good nationalism or patriotism. So this was their proclamation. So the flag, the white flag, is a symbol of peace and freedom. They want to take the red out because it's can be associated with blood and power and authoritarianism. This is just from some sources online. It appears that it was created by expatriate Russians over in other countries, and it has emerged as a symbol, as an anti-war symbol. Okay, so that's where we are now. We see themes of anti-monarchy, anti-oligarchy, anti-war, anti-corruption. So they are, pro freedom, but didn't really go into a whole lot what exactly they mean by that. They are pro-Russia as a nation state. The type of national, nation state that they can be proud of. And when I'm talking about being proud of nation states, I'm really talking about the writings of Giuseppe Mazzini. Probably we'll see more to come from this group, the NRA, inside Russia. They're not apparently not a group outside of Russia. So stay tuned, and hopefully this has been informative to people. And until next time, long live the Republic.